had a prednisone warrior reach out to me wondering if I have to take prednisone. I know it's helping me. That's the good news. But give me the bad news. This is specifically what he said. He said, I take prednisone for cluster headaches. It's the only med that helps. It used to be episodic. Now it's chronic. I've been on prednisone for 2 years. It does give me rashes and a belly. So I guess what I'm asking is, give me the rest of the bad news. So, like he said, prednisone can cause rashes and it can clearly give you a belly. When I personally took prednisone, it gave me a big fat belly, made it look like I was pregnant again, even though I had just barely lost all my baby weight. And so that's a very obvious and symptom that you can see from the outside. A side effect that is pretty hard to miss is the weight gain. And it happens in 70% of people who take prednisone. And the problem with this weight gain is it's inflammatory kind of weight gain. It's stealing from your muscles and bones the fat and the nutrients there and moving that. It's called fat redistribution from your legs and your arms to your belly and your face. And that's the next one is moon face. And this is clearly the most obvious symptom that you are taking prednisone is the moon face. I personally had it and it was miserable and I hated it and I wish there was anything I could do to help. The next bad news are some of the things you can't see. So inside, maybe when you took prednisone like me, you had palpitations, shakiness, your heart beating weird, skipping a beat occasionally. I don't know if you had that, but I personally had that. And it would like beat extra hard. It felt like I was like running a race and I was just sitting on the couch. And the thing is, prednisone can do damage to your cardiovascular system that is irreversible. Like it can affect your heart and your arteries and your veins and cause damage that doesn't go away after stopping prednisone. So that's your heart. Let's talk about your muscles. I already mentioned that your muscles are being stolen from. But what's happening is prednisone is a catabolic steroid. As opposed to anabolic steroids, like the kind muscle builders, like wrestlers and like the people you see at the gym use. This is the opposite. Those are building up muscles. That's anabolic. Prednisone is a catabolic hormone. It is breaking down muscles and it is using that nitrogen and the carbon in there to help you survive this emergency threat that you're experiencing because prednisone is mimicking our naturally occurring hormone cortisol. And cortisol is designed to keep us in balance in what's called homeostasis. And it does so by stealing from our reserves, our rainy day fund, like our muscles and our bones, and using those nutrients to instantly get away from a threat, like running away from a tiger or surviving a famine or a war. And so it's stealing the vital nutrients, the protein from our muscles. It's called myopathy or just myalgia. It can cause muscle pain and muscle loss. And we don't want that. So that's the muscles. Now let's move on to the bones. Now this is the one the doctors are the very most concerned about. This is called glucocorticoid-induced osteoporosis, aka that means prednisone causing bone loss that leads to osteoporosis and broken bones or fractures. And it can lead to losing height by shrinking your spine, by compressing the spine upon itself. And it's dangerous and can lead to really terrible broken bones, like breaking your hip and being stuck in a care center for the rest of your life. And so we don't want that either. Next, prednisone is often prescribed not only for inflammation, but also for immune system problems. So it helped me with my autoimmune condition and a lot of other people. And that means it's affecting your immune system. And so if you are worried, okay, I'm taking this prednisone, I know I have to get through my autoimmune condition. What is it doing to my immune system? Well, you have a greater risk for many infections, like, for example, pneumonia. Your risk for pneumonia goes way up when you take prednisone. Your risk for sepsis, which is a full body infection and multi-organ system failure, and your risk for things like shingles, a reactivation of herpes zoster, which is chickenpox, as a terribly painful rash. And those are the three most likely things to reactivate or make you more susceptible. So your immune system is impaired as well. I could keep going on and on. Those are the worst things that doctors are concerned about, and that, in fact, there's good news. There's something you can do about. Most of these, there's something you can do. There's evidence in articles, scientific articles like this one. Can adverse effects of glucocorticoid therapy be prevented and treated? There's something you can do about this bad news. And this article goes through a whole bunch of those things that you can do. But right now, I want to focus on some specific things you can do about the side effects I just covered. So if you're worried about your risk for high blood sugar and diabetes and weight gain and muscle loss, one of the important things you need to know is that a lot of that is because the metabolism is changing. And one of the ways it's changing is your body is peeing out something called chromium. This is a metal mineral that you normally need to help insulin do its job with your blood glucose. But if you don't have any, then you're left with high blood glucose, and that blood glucose is turning into glycogen and then being stored as fat, and it's making you gain weight and all of those things. So I realized when I personally had to take prednisone that the way prednisone is causing these side effects is by stealing nutrients from your body, nutrients like chromium. And so what's the natural solution? To give them back. So if you're worried about your metabolism, let's give back chromium. And they've actually done studies showing that if you take chromium picolinate 200 micrograms along with prednisone, it can actually reverse diabetes caused by prednisone. That's amazing. That is amazing news. Not only can help with the diabetes, it can help with the muscle, because what the chromium picolinate helps you do is to lose fat weight instead of muscle weight. We don't want to lose any more weight from the muscles. We need to be helping support the muscles. So chromium picolinate helps support healthy muscles and healthy fat loss. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to chromium picolinate. Then there's the bone loss. Now, bone loss is, like I said, the worst thing that the doctors are concerned about, but they created a guideline. The American College of Rheumatology created a guideline for the treatment and prevention of glucocorticoid-induced osteoporosis. And they said that everyone taking prednisone should be taking something else along with it, and that's calcium and vitamin D. At a minimum, you need those. But in addition to that, if you add other ingredients to that prednisone is stealing, it can help make sure that calcium is getting to the bone instead of hardening your arteries. And so you need things like magnesium, potassium, vitamin K2, and when you do that in combination with the vitamin D3 and calcium, then that's the best combination to help support your bones. Back to your immune system. Your immune system is being impaired by prednisone. But there are things you can do. Like, for example, prednisone is stealing vitamin C. It's stealing zinc from your body. So if you give back vitamin C and zinc, vitamin A, and these other nutrients that prednisone is stealing, that can help support your immune system to help build proper immune cells. Because prednisone is actually affecting every single type of cell in your immune system. So you want to do whatever you can to support your immune system. So that's a lot of supplements you need to take, right? It's overwhelming to think of all the doses you have to figure out and whether or not it has other ingredients in it that might interact with prednisone or another treatment you're taking. So what I did is I figured out exactly what dose you need while on prednisone and combined them all into one easy to use combination supplement with a morning bottle and a bedtime bottle. And all you have to do is take the morning bottle along with your daily dose of prednisone. And you take 2 capsules in the morning, and then you take 2 capsules at bedtime. And when you do that, you're replenishing the nutrients that prednisone is stealing. You're helping to minimize this bad news by giving back what you've lost. In addition, I added other ingredients to help counteract the side effects directly that aren't based on nutrient depletion. There are natural herbs and other substances to help you to counteract the side effects of prednisone so that you can feel like yourself again while taking prednisone. That's the good news, is if you're like me and you had no other choice but to take this drug, considered the most hated drug in the world, I would have died without it. Then what's great is you can take Nutrinizone along with it. And then you feel like yourself again and minimize the damage that prednisone is doing to you. Just go to nutranize.com, nutranize.com, to get it today. And that way you'll feel like yourself again and be just like the hundreds of people who, and the 5-star reviews, that say how much Nutrinizone has helped them while taking prednisone. Just go to nutranize.com to get it today. Signing off as Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.